this dude really be taking a 1.5-year break and he comes back with a half-ass Silent Hill video. You guys know me. You know me. Come on. So I just beat Silent Hill 2. It recently got released on the Xbox Series X, and I think I'm the only one on planet Earth that actually owns an Xbox Series X. So I did them a favor and bought the game. And it was alright. I mean, it wasn't great. I was personally a little disappointed by it. However, it was still a very good game. Silent Hill 2. More like walk around the map 2. You walk around in this game a fucking lot, man. Like, half of this game, I would say, is backtracking, which, you know, it's a survival horror game. But, I don't know. This one, it just felt kind of annoying, like a little too much backtracking for me personally. I felt like I was running in and out of the same rooms over and over again. I also recently played Silent Hill F, and it did not seem like that for that game. It seemed like, you know, every once in a while you'd have to run back through some rooms. But for the most part, if you explored the room thoroughly, you could get most of the items you need. Silent Hill 2, you have to go to the one room to, you know, activate the door, and then you have to go to that door, and then that door activates the door on the bottom floor, which actually, when you go down there, that's the generator. When you turn that on, it opens a cafeteria on the second floor. It's just a lot, and when you're cycling through all these maps, it gets confusing. Speaking of the maps, I actually really like how they're done in this game. It's all handheld. You gotta look at the map yourself and figure out where you're going. Every once in a while, James will, like, circle something or, you know, point an arrow to it or write down a little note on the map, and it's really cool. You get to actually see what all this stuff says. You get to see what James is writing down and stuff. And the maps are actually readable too. I just said earlier that you'll get lost, but that's just because these places are fucking huge. But these maps are actually pretty well readable. There's a couple of bullshit parts where you just can't see shit, or like the door's blocked and it just doesn't say anything. I just want to talk about some of the characters and give like a couple like little game theory.
Thanks for watching.
First, I just want to go ahead and say I don't know what was up with Laura, the little kid. I'm trying to think about it. I don't really know how she connects to everything. I don't know. I don't see it. I'm gonna be honest. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't really see it. So that's my game theory, I guess, is that I don't know shit. James and Mary, they seem very complicated. So it's very clear that Mary died from a sickness, some kind of illness. I know it talks about several illnesses in the game. I would have to go back and like read the memos and stuff to remember it off the top of my head. But there's several different illnesses that you read through, especially in the hospital section of the game. It's very clear that Mary, unfortunately, you know, she was losing the battle with the disease. Like, she was losing hair, it sounded like her appearance was changing. And in several of the cutscenes, you could hear her, like, just losing it, pretty much. You could hear her lashing out at people she loves. You could hear her, like, getting disgusted at herself, feeling like she's not worth anything. And I feel like there's a point in the game where she says, "I wish somebody would kill me," several times. Like, she's kind of like asking for it. And I have a little theory in my head that James might have like killed Mary just to like stop her suffering, you know. She says at one point that the hospitals are only keeping her alive for money, pretty much, like to keep their bills paid. I'm wondering if James just, you know, like they got together and he killed her, and that's why James like feels all this guilt throughout the entire game. Throughout the whole game, the save points, you're always staring at yourself, but when you're getting closer and closer to the end of the game, when you're finally getting a grip of reality, like, you know, coming to conclusions and stuff, James isn't even looking at himself anymore. You can't even face the person that he is. He doesn't even want to look at himself after what he did. It would also explain Maria a lot. This might be a little far-fetched. I personally think Maria is just supposed to represent either a prostitute or just some other girl that James slept with sometime after Mary died. Just, you know, so he could be with something, even if it's not like a real relationship, he could be close to someone. That would also explain why, you know, she's so suggestive throughout the entire game. She's always like rubbing her face and shaking her ass and rubbing his dick. Like, I feel like maybe she was just like a girl that James got with to, you know, kind of feel something. It's very clear James doesn't feel a lot throughout the whole game. He's very emotionless, even when the parts when people close to him die, he reacts, but he doesn't really, like, he reacts, but he doesn't really react, you know. He's very cold throughout the entire game. He doesn't show a lot of emotion. The only emotion he really shows is, like, fear. because, you know, yeah, me too. It's very clear he's just like an emotionally disconnected person. That would also explain why Maria is just like a dickhead throughout the entire game. You know, it's supposed to be just like James' guilt, pretty much. Like, it's not that, I don't think that's what it is, but I think that's kind of what it's supposed to represent, I think. It's supposed to be like the guilt that he moved on, or I don't know. Like, it's weird, because I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, moving on, but I think it's just like the guilt of it, you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not good with explaining these things. Eddie, it's very clear it's supposed to be like an eating disorder. He was very interesting, though, because he's kind of fucked. What I got from his story, during the boss fight, he starts telling the story about how he killed a dog, and then, you know, that led to real people getting murdered. He says at one point that he killed a dog, and then that led somebody to, you know, investigating, and then he killed that person, and then that led to him killing someone else. He says that during the final boss with Eddie, and that would also explain the gun and shit, and why he's so, like, weird, and that would also explain maybe why he eats so much, maybe to kind of, drown out those feelings. He just stuffs his face, pretty much. I gotta say, Pyramid Head, I don't know what the fuck that is. It's very clear, it's very, like, I don't know if religious is the right word, but it's like that, you know what I mean? A lot of shit I didn't understand. I found him very cool, though, very menacing. I gotta say, he's kind of a bitch, though, if I'm being honest. Throughout the game, he doesn't really do much. I always got the impression that Pyramid Head was this, like, big bad, and he definitely is throughout the game, because he appears several times, and he's one of the last boss fights. But, I mean, he's kind of a bitch, if I'm being real. Like, you kind of just shoot at him, and he dies. I know that's, like, every fucking video game enemy ever made, but, like, you know what I mean, right? He doesn't, like, retaliate really at all. He kind of just takes it. And he doesn't have, like, these crazy moves or anything. He kind of just slowly marches towards you, which definitely is intimidating and scary when you're being chased by him and stuff. But when you're in, like, a gunfight with him in a small, closed arena, I don't think it really works the same. I just kind of felt it to be a very underwhelming character. I very much enjoyed him being in the game, though. The cutscene with James when he's in the closet and he shoots him in the head 3 times, that was fucking horrifying. Cutscenes throughout the whole game were fantastic, I just want to say. Great mocap and acting, facial acting especially whoever did James. Man, that motherfucker really knows how to look like just disgusted and distraught. Like, he nailed that shit, seriously. The combat was kind of fucking annoying, I'm gonna be honest. It was a little tedious. You kind of just spam RT. The camera for combat was fucking terrible, man. Like, back up a little bit. I don't need to have James covering half my view. Like, why is half of the camera the James cam? Like, I don't understand. I felt dodging to be very inconsistent. Like, I feel like sometimes I would be dodging perfectly, and then sometimes I would press the button, and James would just sit there and twiddle his dick. That's definitely a skill issue, but I'm just going to pretend it's a fault with the game, because...
Fuck you.
I got the water ending, which he pretty much just commits suicide. He drives himself into the Toluca River. You know, probably in the fucking dark place now, Alan Wake shit. But yeah, I was very satisfied with that ending. I felt like it was, you know, it kind of let you... It didn't give you, like, all the answers, but it lets you piece everything together. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt. I don't know if I'm right about all my theories or not. Right after I record this, I'm going to go watch, like, a Silent Hill 2 Explain
Game theory.
That's just personally what I think. If you've played Silent Hill 2, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know what everyone thinks about it. And sorry this video is kind of half-assed. I'm, like, sitting in my room, and I'm talking to myself. You know? Like, I'm sitting here doing this exact thing, but without the camera on. You know what I mean? Like, I just sit and talk to myself, so I'm like, why don't I just turn the camera on and talk for, you know, a good 20 minutes or so? And I'll make it into a, you know, a 5-minute video. Who gives a fuck?